everybody. It's another Friday with Father Scott, coming to you from a corner of my office in front of my Norman Rockwell print. And I'm going to focus, as has become my custom, on the upcoming Sunday readings. So it's the seventh Sunday in Ordinary Time, and our gospel, again, continues to be from the Gospel of St. Luke. And Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you, and from the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. For if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather, love your enemies and do good to them, and lend, expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down, and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in turn be measured out to you." The Gospel of the Lord. That's a pretty powerful gospel if you sit back and listen carefully to everything that is said. And it's not accidental that I'm sitting in front of this Norman Rockwell print, because one of the lines of today's gospel, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," is picked right from the line of today's gospel selection. I think for all of us, hearing a gospel like this, I think sometimes for some of us it's very easy to hear, and other times in our lives it's very difficult to hear, because maybe we're in a rut and we're hearing one of those things that Jesus kind of picks at, and it can either annoy the dickens out of us or really challenge us to look at our own lives. It's almost like an examination of conscience, if you will, something we might reflect upon before we go to confession. Have I been judging? Have I been condemning? Have I been forgiving? Have I been giving? Have I measured with a good measure? Have I been merciful? Have I been all those things? And it kind of focuses on the disciples' life and lifestyle, but more about our lives and how we look at other people. So it really is a beautiful gospel story that we hear today. Jesus says to his disciples, so I'm assuming he's speaking to you and to me today. This is for us. This is what we're called to be about. This is how we are to live our lives. To you who hear, I say, love. That's the first word that we hear, love. And we're called to put that as the covering that looks at everything else in our lives. So a beautiful gospel that we hear on the seventh Sunday in Ordinary Time. Again, to look at ourselves first and foremost. Not worry about everybody else, but look at ourselves. I like to say, especially during the season of Lent, when I used to travel down Bardstown Road in the Highlands on one of the marquees of one of the local churches, they always had during Lent, confess your own sins, not someone else's. And that's really tough to do. And I think this gospel helps us do just that. So, ladies and gentlemen, think about it, pray about it, listen to it. You're going to hear it again on Saturday and Sunday. And what needs to change? And normally the answer to that question, I do. So, a beautiful gospel that's for always for all of us. So, just a little FYI, our annual report is out. You can find it on our webpage. If you go to the menu under publications, you can just click on annual report. And not only is it got little tidbits of information, it's beautiful. I would just say it's well done. So hats off to those that had their hands in preparing it. It will go out with a link to this today. So it's at your fingertips, so let your fingers do the walking and do some scanning. There's just some interesting information, like the number of deaths that we had this year, the number of baptisms. What we didn't include is what we did the prior year, and the change. What's amazing to me is we're doing a funeral every 11 days. In 2020, it was one funeral every 10 days. So a little gap is growing, praise God. But that's just part of the tidbits that I found interesting. So take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. The days are getting longer. The sun is getting a little higher. So until we meet again, God's blessing on you and those you love most. Take care.